For me, it was an interesting experience to participate in executive board because you get in contact with quite different institutions. None of the members of IANPHI have really similar institutes. They all differ from their history, etc. And all institutes have different problems. And I think it's a challenge as a big, well-established institute to share experience and also sometimes to help other institutions which are worse equipped than we are. The value of IANPHI for me is to share experience with others, particularly if there are times of crisis. I consider as very valuable the personal contact through the meetings. You know the directors of the other institutes, and if there come problems during outbreaks, I think it's very helpful if you know the person, you can grab the telephone and have direct information, ask questions, and exchange material. So this makes it more efficient and also much faster than some official requests. One experience is that it's much more work than I expected. This is 4 full days to talk to people, to talk to other stakeholders, to the customers of the institute which is evaluated. These were quite intensive days, but I realized one learns also for yourself and for your institute from such evaluation. The experience of the others, the problems of the others, you learn also for your own institute and can use this knowledge at home. The regional exchange is of course helpful, but it's different than it's a global IANPHI. Many problems are of course local, and we have the same European institutions to deal with, so there also the informal exchange is helpful. And sometimes also it ends up in very practical help and support. For instance, we have now a new BSL-4 laboratory. It makes sense that we make agreements with the neighboring states who don't have such a laboratory to test samples. Sometimes there's major concern in a country, and they're very happy if they can send material and get sooner response and can things calm down. The European network is very helpful, but I realized that Europe is privileged in many aspects. So to establish a comparable network in Africa is definitely more difficult and more problematic. It of course boils down to financial support, but that's not the only problem. You also have to cooperate and to establish direct contacts to improve things. It's more difficult if the financial support is poor, as it is in many areas in Africa. I learned a lot from the very experienced persons involved in IANPHI, and particularly in IANPHI executive board. Most of them are really wise person, and they have an experience of many years. So it's always an experience to see how they try to handle things. One never ends learning from others.